Greetings, I'm Tim of Govberg, and welcome to the World of Zenith. Today, I'll be your guide to the proper usage, care, and maintenance of your Zenith El Primero 36,000 vibration per hour classic cars. It's important to note that this automatic winding timepiece can, nevertheless, be manually wound by taking the crown in the first position flush to the case and turning it in a clockwise direction. Now 20 to 30 turns should be sufficient to start the balance, and you'll note that the watch is running by the constant seconds indicator at 9 o'clock. At this point you can put the watch on the wrist, and the natural course of kinetic action on the wrist will turn the winding rotor and energize the watch perpetually as long as it is worn daily. However, should you wish to fully energize the approximately 50-hour power reserve, continue turning the crown in a clockwise direction. The bridal style mainspring of this automatic watch will simply slip to relieve any excess tension. It cannot be overwound. Now, it's important to note with respect to setting the time and the date that the date should never be actuated, the quick change function that is, should never be actuated between the hours of 8 p.m. and 4 a.m. Now, this is important to note because the watch sets both time and date a little bit differently than conventional calibers. The El Primero is distinctive in that the crown, pulled to the outermost position, advances the date rather than changes the time of the hands. This is different from most other watches. So if you do have a time reading between 8 p.m. and 4 a.m., take care when you're removing the crown to set the time that you don't pull it to the outermost position and accidentally engage the date change during the 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. period when the automatic quick jumper of the date is engaged, as attempting to use the quick set while the jumper is engaged will damage the watch. Now, when you want to set the time, of course, you take the watch out to the second position, and now you turn it in a counterclockwise direction, advance it exclusively in a clockwise direction while turning the crown counterclockwise to set the time. Once the time is set, always replace the crown to the flush position. This ensures watertight integrity as rated from the factory. Now, it's important to note that the watch is rated at 100 meters water resistant from the factory, but when discussing the precautions that one should take in the proximity to water, leather, a natural porous material, is never water resistant, so the watch should be put on a textile or rubber strap before exposure to moisture. Moreover, none of the functions, those of the crown or of the chronograph pushers, should be actuated when the watch is submerged or when there is water on the case, as this action can bypass the seals and introduce moisture to the interior of the watch, causing catastrophic mechanical and cosmetic damage. Take care and never actuate a function while the watch is wet. Finally, Zenith advises that water resistance is not a static feature of the timepiece, and to ensure that that 100-meter factory rating is retained over time, as seals dry up, as lubricants age, water test with an authorized dealer at least on an annual basis per the manufacturer to ensure that that factory-rated 100-meter hermeticity is retained in practice, not just in theory. Now, with respect to the chronograph, there are some handling restrictions. The chronograph should always be actuated with the pusher at 2, stopped with the same pusher at 2 o'clock, and then reset with the pusher at 4 o'clock. Now, it should always be in that sequence, as attempting to reset the chronograph when it is still running can severely damage the mechanism. Moreover, the largest chronograph register on the dial is 12 hours, so that's the longest the chronograph should be run in a single stint. Zenith advises against leaving the chronograph running continuously, that is, using the chronograph seconds hand as a center sweep seconds hand. Only run the chronograph for up to 12 hours at a time, not continuously. Now, it's also important to note handling restrictions with respect to magnetism and shock. Now, the oscillator of the watch, the balance, is mounted on a hairspring that is metallic and can be magnetized. Magnets are more prevalent in daily life than you may suspect. They're found on the closure mechanisms of purses and wallets, high-powered wiring looms in the home and office, speakers, subwoofers, refrigerator doors, and of course MRI equipment. Avoid all of these. Should you suspect due to erratic timing that your hairspring has become magnetized, take the watch to an authorized retailer of Zenith where specialized equipment is available to quickly and easily demagnetize your watch. It's also important to avoid shock while wearing the timepiece, specifically high-impact sports such as equestrianism, mountain biking, rough motorcycling such as dirt biking, firearms target practice, golf, and batting, as all of these activities, plus tennis, can shock the movement, and with a fine traditional mechanical movement, shock can be extremely disabling. So avoid these activities while wearing your watch. Finally, with respect to service, Zenith advises a full mechanical overhaul every 3 to 5 years exclusively with a Zenith authorized retailer, either an independent authorized retailer or a factory boutique, as these agencies exclusively have the trained personnel, specialized equipment, and original Zenith replacement parts to ensure the integrity of your watch both as an instrument and as an investment. Moreover, only these agencies can back the work and the parts invested with an original Zenith factory service warranty. To learn more about the full care, maintenance, and operation of your watch, contact our experts at govbergwatches.com by text, email, or phone.